How's everybody feeling? Y'all feeling good? Fellas, y'all feeling alright? Welcome to this beautiful island, which we are so fortunate to call our home, St. Lucia.
We're happy to welcome here to our studios. Once again, it took us a little while, but it was worth it. Teddyson John.
Hey, my brother, how are you?
I'm happy, good to see you.
A long time, it's been a while.
Yes, I think the last time we spoke, we didn't have something called COVID.
Nothing. The last time it was what we were talking about. It was a long time,
Yes, it was one of your Euphoria shows.
Yes.
And we've had so much happening since then. We know you've been busy traveling and so on.
Yes.
And so we're just coming out of COVID.
Yeah.
And I wanted to touch a little bit on that before we get into your other projects and so on. So as an artist, when you just got an award in 2019, you placed second in a major competition and so on.
Yes.
So you're poised
Yes.
for big time, and then 2019 happened and 2020.
Yeah.
As an artist, how you describe that period? When you see you couldn't travel, you couldn't have performances and so on.
It was rough. I would tell you that. I would be honest with you and tell you I was in a dark space in my life, just not knowing. Sometimes the person that gives encouragement need encouragement themselves. So I had that period of time where the not knowing, me not knowing was very difficult. Not knowing what to do, not knowing the next move. You were right, because when we came from 2019, that was the first time we created history in Trinidad in terms of, apart from the competition, but also that year we did Tuesday on the Rocks, a 45-minute set with my band. That's never been done before for some reason, to go up to a place like Trinidad to do that.
Yes, Tuesday on the Rocks, how you feeling? Hey, listen. I woke up this morning and I'm feeling nice, but the path that I chose comes bound to fight. As long as I'm living, your future is shaping, and where I am, somebody brush up your shoulder, honey with condition.
So that opened up a whole bunch of other events. We had probably about 10 to 12 band shows, you understand, apart from me doing my solo stuff. So when you see everything, you see where the money is coming from, you see you budget, you see what is what, and then in a nutshell, that just disappears in front of you. You pretty much don't know what to do.
Because that's your livelihood.
That's my livelihood. I am a fool. I am an entertainer. I am an artist full time. This is what I do. I had that dark hole in my life, but what I started to do, a lot of things started to happen. My mental started to change. I adopted an attitude of gratitude. Like for me, even being home, the beautiful things about taking a drive down the coast, going, underneath the bushes, going and, in a waterfall, the beaches. I started to appreciate these little things. I started to have, different mentors. My circle started to change. I started being more into audiobooks, books like The Laws of Attraction, The Power of Positive Thinking, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, The Power of Self-Confidence. I used to start giving these audiobooks. So every day I woke up and I started to do that. I started to change the renewing of my mind and adopted an attitude where I was just grateful for these simple things. And slowly but surely I started to get out of it. My mind started to open up to the universe more and just accepting positive. Just started to block out all the negative, and COVID allowed me to go into different things that I didn't think I could have, gone into. But when that project happens, you're all gonna hear about it. Mm-hmm. It had nothing to do with music, but when that project happens, you're all gonna hear about it, and it's a result of what COVID was. So as much as COVID did bad, COVID did good in terms of allowing you to check your inner self and making you get out of your comfort zone. My comfort zone is music because I do it well, but it allowed me to go into different, or try to find different businesses that I was able to, like, don't know much about it, but be interested enough to learn. And it's a learning process for me every day. So from the time that happened, I just started to change that mindset of mine, and didn't stay in that dark hole for too long. It's easy to get sucked in and like, oh, and this and that ain't happening, and this and that. But if you are able to find the good in a bad situation, that means you've grown. So that's what happened with me.
So everything went virtual, and
Yeah.
you had to. And
Yeah.
a good thing that you already you had a strong online presence.
Yes,
So you were
yes,
able to
yes,
build on that.
yes.
So when you put that show together in Soufriere, give us an idea, what is it that, because at the time you couldn't perform, you couldn't do other things, and you had to do something, you had to keep busy. So give us an idea of what exactly you wanted to achieve with that project.
Let me tell you where that project came from. We were getting ready for Uber Soca Cruise. That's in 2019. Uber Soca Cruise. If you don't know, that's a cruise where everything soca. You understand? You get there. That's like 10 days on the water with all artists, all producers, everybody in that industry is there. Fortunately, they've hired me every single year from the time that they had. So there was a day that I just wanted to do something for content to put, so I called my band. I was like, okay, guys, I want to do a version of that. Let's just do that and we'll put that out. So we did a version of Creme de la Creme, and we did a version of Kite Sa, and then I put it out on Instagram, and the feedback that I got was just crazy. Like, people were like, whoa, like it, they never really, got that kind of, it was just a different, and I called it #JustSo, because we do it just so. I call it, fellas, just so I tell the fellas, let me do that, let me try something. So the album came about where I was on my way to the cruise ship. We left our hotel on our way to the cruise ship, and then somebody tagged me, and they said, listening to the acoustic sounds of Teddyson John. So what they did is, like, they took off the audio from, so I was like, nah, that had to be something. That has to be something that you can go down into that realm. When I got back, I told the fellas, we do the album. My band, everybody was so excited. Nobody gave me no kind of negative, from Daniel, Zach, Peppy, Casey, Shaq. Everybody was down. And we got in the studio. We went in the studio like we were going to work, like a 9 to 5. We took lunch in the afternoon, but we went to work from like 9 o'clock to 5 in the afternoon. And we put instead of doing the 2 songs, we did about 11 songs. And then while we were there, I wanted that raw kind of element. We did the entire thing. I was like, okay, it was ready. Then I let one of one person that I really look up to listen, you understand, to it. I let my manager listen to it now just different people. And they were like, Teddy, it's not ready yet. It's still missing. So I went back in and we re-recorded the entire album again. And then I got in the girls, Daniel brought in the girls, Lachelle's, Rochelle and her crew to do it, and we added background vocals, and then I played the percussions on it live, just gave that kind of vibe. And we wanted to drop it on the Feast of Musicians, you understand, which is the November 22nd. We wanted to do it there to actually give back and putting out the album and giving people that visual of the album to realize that, hey, it ain't no studio tricks there, it's live, you getting it. And from the time we did that, it opened up some other doors, because we started to get calls even for different other festivals, when it's not the normal soca route that we go, but actual music festivals. But then COVID was still, you understand, there, so there's not much that we could have done with it. But if it wasn't for COVID, probably we wouldn't have been in that position where we wanted to go down that route, of it. And for what we did, everybody was very much tuned in, and everybody, supported. We wanted to do a body of work compared to like 1 song or 2 songs. I believe we wanted to do a body of work to represent what we do. And some of the songs sounded, for me, I prefer some of the songs acoustic than the originals.
It's true.
You understand? I didn't want to do the originals again, but I prefer it, like songs like Kitesa, songs like I Pray, Melodies, all these songs were acoustically done. So for us to arrange it, the entire band arranged it. We came and everybody gave their different input as to what we were gonna do, and that's how Caribbean Moscato was formed.
It was an iconic performance by an Ascension icon in front of an iconic setting as well.
Thank you. People thought that was a picture.
Really?
Yeah. People thought, that not looking, no. But TJ, I want to big up Hotel Chocolat for allowing us that. She's been a fan from not now. So from when we called, she was like, Teddy, you can come over, come use the place, come do what we were. So we got that vibe from Hotel Chocolat, and big up Presh, for the video of how everything was done. Dwayne, for the sound of what everything was like. We just had a blast doing it.
Now, those of us who know you, when I saw that set, and in fact I called you and you still have some audio for me.
Oh Lord, that's true, I'm sorry.
Yes, but when I saw it, I said, but this is Teddy I know, because I know Teddy is extremely versatile, and so we saw all years of experience materialize into this.
That's what happened, and the thing is that you would know that, because you know where I come from, but a lot of people on the outside, it's like a lot of people only got introduced to me from LA. So as much as people knew me in St. Lucia, you can be big home, you can be a household name in your island, but outside of the island, nobody knows you. So when everybody got to know me from LA, it felt like me starting over again. So I had that attention of everybody, regional and international, you understand, looking in, checking that. So for me, it was like, ooh, I'm right in my comfort zone, home. You understand? Come from gospel, come from jazz, come from these things, so you're gonna get that. But for somebody on the outside, it would be like, wow, like, oh my God, like, okay. But like you said, people don't know where I come from. So it felt good going back into that zone.
Y'all sound so beautiful. Can I take them back?
And I figured again, if there's a moment that if there's no carnival, and let's say, God forbid, okay, there's nothing, or everything get done, you're supposed to still be able to move people with your music. So I was, head set in going down that direction also, that you have a balance, a soca side, and then that easy listening kind of vibe.
So you are one of the most, in my opinion, one of the most prolific soca artists. The reason why I say
really
so,
appreciate it.
because you have the ability to work with any styles.
Yeah.
And I know of a few of the top-notch soca artists who may not be able to do what you do.
And somebody told me that I can.
Which is true.
Yes.
Which is true by a long shot in the Caribbean. There may be one or two, but I think it's a very small space that you're in terms of what your abilities are.
Yeah.
And you're also a drummer.
Yes.
And not just a drummer, an exceptional drummer as well.
Drumming is my first. If I wasn't singing, I would be behind these drums.
Right, so you bring all of that into your projects and into your live performances as well. So it's not just a soca artist performing, but this is a consummate musician and performer as well. So one of the things I wanted to ask, and I think you mentioned it, even when you mentioned the Rochelle's and so on, in terms of vocals, one of what sets you apart as well is the kind of attention you pay to the vocal arrangement. Talk us about how, because you are a top-notch vocalist as well. Talk us about how much does that factor into your project?
For me, it's a big factor, because this is how I judge an artist. If I cannot get that same feeling from you live compared to because a studio can make a horse sing. You can go in a studio, you can do all sorts of things, and there's a lot of artists, both that I watch in probably even jazz festivals or shows that I got disappointed in, because what I was hearing on the album is not what happens live. So for me, that's how I judge. But me coming from that gospel, kind of background and influences in gospel areas like B.B. Winans and you understand CC, Fred Hammonds and all these type of things, the Winans and all of them. They're people that had these type of nice, vocal melodies and arrangements. I am a lover of R&B music also, so for me, the groups back then, you understand? It feels old now. Jesus, when I say back then, what that boy? What? Okay, so groups like the Jodeci's and the Drew Hills and even the Boyz II Men's and these are people that I grew up on. So when you hear arrangements, you hear vocal arrangements, you hear different things. These are the type of things that my ear was open to. The messed up thing is that I didn't go to a school of music for it. So that is something that just happened to happen naturally.
No, but you were always a student of music.
Yeah, I was always a student of music, but I never really got officially trained.
Yeah, but you're homeschooled.
Yeah, homeschooled. Yeah. Drumming, I started playing drums behind the house on an old chair my mother had there. And they used to make me, every Saturday I had to beat that, it had dust. So I had to take out the dust in it. So I used to break branches from the trees and do that. And with, I used to use like the needle, the cans of needle. So I at the back and I buy the septic tank, I have my drums by the septic tank and I sit down with my little thing and I used to use the cover of the needle to make the splash and I just started doing it by myself until I started to get opportunities to play in church. You understand? There was a drummer in church by the name of Barney. And Barney used to make me play in the night. There have times, I couldn't play in the day, you understand, because they hot, section hot in the church, Holy Ghost on fire, you understand. So I used to play at night, or I used to do the youth concerts, and there are times, I remember doing a concert, a show a crusade, it was in the Boulevard, and Ricky Forswa, drummer Ricky Forswa, Lufa Forswa's brother, Ricky gave me my first pair of official drumsticks, American Classics. My feet couldn't touch the pedal, so I was at the edge of the seat, and people are hearing drums beating, but they didn't know who because I sit down, behind it. And Ricky was like, wow. And Ricky came up to me, and Ricky gave me my first pair of 5/8 American Classic drums. So for me, that back then, the music back then, even with jazz, I was raised underneath Sojourn and Blue Mango, that's Richard Payne, and my brother Francis. Ace was in the band, Nadine Roberts was in the band. All of that time we got opportunities to open with different jazz acts. So for there, my ears was training all that time. So everything that I learned, whether it be gospel, whether it be jazz, I was able to put into my music. The different harmonies, the different arrangements and that kind of stuff. So that's where it actually came from.
A lot of people don't realize too that's partly responsible, in a huge part responsible for your longevity as well. Because the mere fact that you have that depth in music, and coming from so many different perspectives, and I think for persons listening to this interview, especially young musicians you are role models to quite a few of them, that they ought to know that you need to build your music career from scratch. And put in the hard work. Like you say, we have to thank Nido and some of those plastic buckets.
You have to thank all of them, I'm telling you. You have to, because these are moments that help, with different things. When I got into soca and music and recording my own music, Mike Rogers had put pressure on me. I used to come in, Mike, and tell Mike, I want any song they used to play on radio, record that, put that in a little cassette for me, and record that. And Mike said, but Teddy, why you recording other people? Why you had to do your own? And it forced me to go into to recording. And
so you have established your name. So I want to flash back to the COVID period. So when you had released Caribbean Moscato and so on, like I said, your livelihood was being affected. And so, you said you were in a dark space and so on. What were you able to monetize, even like the Moscato, for example? What were you doing, and how was your mind racing in terms of how do I get my cash flow back?
Well, the cash flow was not really coming in at all, and the truth is, I'll tell you what COVID allowed me to see. There's a lot of shortcomings in our industry, or what is called. All other genres was really doing well, except soca.
It's a high performance.
Yes, because it's high performance and it's based so much on a carnival period. You understand that if there was not a carnival, nobody could have survived. So basically 2 years to 2.5 years, there was no work. You understand? So bills not really getting all your savings done within that period of time because it's just rough. The genre of music that we do, people don't buy. Let's say the buying power of that is very different. So when you have like a Justin Bieber putting out an album, or Chris Brown or DJ Khaled putting out an album where people waiting for that to buy and get these things platinum and certified and selling units. Soca music is a different thing because we give that out for free. You understand? It's so festival based, you understand, that we give it for free. It takes a lot for us to put out music. People want music, yeah, they want. But on shows and on tours is probably where the artists get to make, you understand, their money. But not the back end mechanical, part of it, unless you get a publishing, let's say in a big, movie. I started wanting to do music that can be probably picked up by a sitcom or like a Tyler Perry or stuff like that. So when I did the Moscato, that's what I'm music like that will never die. So for me, I wanted to shop it around these, areas. We put out the virtual thing we wanted to do, but virtual still, people wouldn't, we didn't know if people, and that's the Caribbean way, because I had that conversation with Shaggy, and he was like, Caribbean people don't buy music and don't stream music. You understand? So that is why somebody like Shaggy would link up with a Sting or would link up with different genres to create. So while everybody doing this, Shaggy getting a Grammy, on something totally different. He's from Jamaica here, but it's a different kind of vibe. So Caribbean people on the whole don't really buy or stream. You more get, download a song off of YouTube. I go into a barbershop the other day, somebody have a whole album. I didn't even know why I put that album out because the person have a whole TJ special. And that is songs that they just probably download. So the mechanical part of it, the streaming part of it, it's a little bit difficult, you understand, to monetize. You understand? Just because of the culture of how we are. You understand? In terms of what it is. I was telling somebody, I said that in the interview in Trinidad, we would pay for a costume. We would pay thousands of dollars for a costume, but you wouldn't take 10 US, or $9.99 and buy an album. You understand? So I believe I wanted to have bodies of work, and that is stuff that we lack a lot compared to having songs. I wanted to start working on bodies of work. I'm working on my second body of work that's going to be released before the year is done, So it's for me, it made me realize a lot of different things that probably we need to change, and probably the mindsets of people.
Yeah, definitely the business model, as you mentioned, the costumes sometimes on the street the next day.
But I'm telling you pay $3,000, $4,000. That's if you go Trinidad. You understand? You sometimes people take loan to go there. Trinidad, you take a $10,000, $15,000 loan because these parties not cheap. You'd pay for that and jump to the same music that the artist giving. But if the artist was to say, okay, the song goes for $1.99, you wouldn't get that kind of support, which is very, very strange, to me. We just a customer giving it for free.
One of the music genres I haven't heard you do is country. Have you ever done country before?
No, I've never done it. When I was on a cruise ship, I used to work on a cruise ship, Celebrity Cruises, with my brother. The band was Phase 5. Penn was the drummer. You understand? Penn not actually get me into soca music. He tricked me, but I ended the thing. Anyways, I used to have to sing these country songs because there was a country night. So that's where I got to know about it. You understand? I got to know different things. I'm gonna love you forever, forever and ever. So I just had a flashback when we used to do it on country night. But for a song like Howdy, it was different because St. Lucian, I figured, okay, it took me a while to do, just to investigate and be bold to actually come out with it. St. Lucians love country music. There's not a weekend you pass and you're not hearing.
Like good roast
I'm telling you, they have places upstairs like Ashby's Market. They have, you understand, Prio, all the man, everybody. So how do you get something that get grown folks with the young people, you understand, and the kids to do something like that? That's why the beat has that, you know, that Denry kind of heavy beat in it. The bass line is the soca. Big up Nikki for that. So it's just something where I just try to create a big bouillon, put these sounds together to see what we could have come up with.
And that goes to the business model of collaboration.
Yes.
Because I can see, when I saw Howdy, I said, okay,
Yes.
I see where you're going.
Yes.
And I can see you in Texas at some point in time pretty
Yes,
soon.
yes.
You know,
No, I ain't playing that. That's where we going. No, we want
because
that.
we saw what happened with, I just forgot his name now, this big rap artist who got with...
Listen to, I'm telling you, there's something there. We tackling them radio stations and we've working very heavily, you know, in creating these things. It only takes one door or, you know, one call for something like that to probably happen. And it's never been done. Like for Carnival this year, my thing is to imagine everybody in a fete, everybody in a show doing line dancing, you understand, in a country soca. That never been done.
Link up with that crew right there. Everybody hands in the air. Bounce around my day. Howdy, 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 howdy. Give me a rhythm and say why, yeah, why, yeah. Howdy, 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 howdy. It feels so nice.
So imagine you get a drone shot of that and you get that and people seeing that. We're going to break the internet, so that's what I want. I tell everybody to learn it already. You too, you know. You have to learn it. We're not doing
Definitely.
that. We have to learn that.
So a few things happened. You're coming out of COVID now. Well, let's hope and, you know, that
Yes,
we're coming out of
yes,
COVID seriously
yes.
this time around.
Yes.
And you've been touring and so on.
Yes.
So talk to us about what were some of the elements, because I suppose we won't be seeing too many virtual performances anymore.
Yes.
That's going to phase out
Yes.
into real life
Yeah,
performances.
yeah.
What are some of the key things that you got from that period that you're going to certainly incorporate into your business model moving forward?
It's just how things are done. Like during the COVID, it was virtual. You understand? There's not much you could have done in terms of touching fans, and you know what it taught me to do is like come up like what I'm saying with the idea of the intimate, up and close, up and personal. I can go any style. That it made me realize that I can go any style. So apart from doing the regular, you know, New York and Miami and Toronto, I can go into different places that I've never done. We're supposed to do Switzerland this year. You understand? In September. That's a different market. You understand? And then I can break down into something different. So apart from the big band, I can give you that one-on-one storytelling, you know, cabaret, soca cabaret type of show. So that's what I've learned different to incorporate that moving forward. And okay, we can do this, but we can also do that completely different. While I was in New York, I performed at an art gallery. There was this painter that had his work, you know, and real people that I never knew of in that art world, you know, was there. He is somebody that supplies Swiss Beats, you know, with paintings and all that kind of stuff. Big up Alvarez from the UK. And I got invited, you understand, to perform at his art auction, you know, in New York. That is something very different. So it ain't no rah jump here and there. It's something simple with that acoustic guitar, you understand, and do something different. So that's one of the differences moving forward that I can add, you know, to my vibe or my style. Yeah, you can get Teddy with the noise and the jump up and everybody, yeah, but you can also get Teddy with that ease, laid back. Music festivals all over the world is where we're going to be looking to go as well.
This industry is quite involved, and you are testimony to that in terms of you have the performance side of it. You have the pre-production where you produce your music and so on.
Yeah.
But there's also the collaborations, not just collaborations with other artists, but you have to collaborate with producers, promoters,
yes,
media,
yes,
big business,
yes.
So many. So, how much of that do you cede to your management team, and how much do you personally get involved in terms of managing that part of it?
Well, where Euphoria is concerned, my management has more dealings, with these companies. Personally, where the music and the production is concerned, the links I would have, they wouldn't have it. So I learned to network on that level. That's where you can probably get a collab with me and Maxi Priest doing a Bruno Mars cover for Leave the Door Open. That's me going there, and some other stuff on that reggae scene with other people that I have working on. You understand? That is a different, everybody has their role where that is concerned. You want a different type of sound, you try a different, producer to see what's up. With sounds over here, I have different people that I work with to help, put these things together. My vocal engineering, and he spoils me so much, and that I feel I don't want to do vocals anywhere else. After Libo, God rest his soul, I started working with Daniel of Face Media. I call him the scientist when it comes to vocals, and he was able to get where I'm from and what I do, and we had that connection. So he's somebody I totally trust with whatever I do, the style, how it's supposed to come out, what is what. Yesterday we were in studio. My next release is on Tuesday, and we were going through every single note, editing, making sure everything. If I hear anything that's sounding, and it's like, Teddy, your ears, boy, your ears. And I just drive him up the Wabaeke because I've learned once you put a song out, you can't take it back. And there's songs that I will not sing, you understand? Because when I put it out, I realized it's nonsense. I was thinking the time wasn't spent to make sure it was right. So I have these sessions, apart from the recording sessions, I have these collaborating sessions with, a vocal engineer, with a producer that I would say, okay, that needs to be okay, you'll do that, but I think we can add a live bass there instead of a straight computer bass. I think we can add live drum fills there, and I think I've gotten the respect from different producers that they know where my ears are, so they allow me to say, okay, Teddy, I get where you're coming from. I started producing with Kerwin, same thing, with the Haze Rhythm. I produced the Haze Rhythm with Fetland, and give me that. To me, to sit in a studio with somebody like Kerwin, and he allows me to, hey, Teddy, all right, that making sense, we're going to put that there. That is different, too. I did stuff with Moto, where he's like, okay, Ted, hey, you can do that. The One of People business, I did put the bass line in that, because that's what I was hearing. The rest of the track of the songs ain't got no bass, but mine will be the difference. But because they trust my ear to know what it is. And again, that happens just because of all my different influences. So somebody can just come and give me something and say, okay, look, and like I have no clue what I hear everything. I hear everything. So for me, collaborations are very important. I big up people like Miguel Vibes Production, Pepe's my musical director, Focus Production, I do a lot of stuff with different people, but when you want that different sound, wherever you have to go. So it's very important for me as well.
The St. Lucia music industry, you're a product of the St. Lucia music industry, and you are representing exceptionally well as a St. Lucian.
Thank you.
And there are artists who are following and capitalizing on opportunities as well. But we still have a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
You mentioned your producers, you mentioned a few. From your perspective, what are some of the key things we need to pay attention to almost immediately, the low-hanging fruits, first to take our music to the next level? Because we have just you, Ricky T, and a few guys touring, some of the Denry segment guys, but we need to have a lot more people touring.
I think people need to understand what we do, and they need to understand the importance of what we do. I don't think people look at our jobs as something. We have the same way you have a 9 to 5, you understand? I call it we have a 24/7, because our job is to create, our job is to, so when you go home and you knock off at 5 o'clock, you knock off until you go back to work the next day. I think people need to be much more considerate where creatives are concerned. If you change your mindset and your concept about creatives on the whole, you'll get to appreciate what we do more, and then people will find the need to invest in what we do. There are other islands that's just, the Martinique just over there. You understand? The creative industry is just so different. You understand? Trinidad, Barbados, you have centers, you have amphitheaters where people can actually, put plays, put shows, do that kind of stuff. But here is just a different, nothing is being really invested in that. It's not even necessarily about taking people and sending them overseas, but the training, for the music camps, that kind of stuff. All these things are very important as well. I think so. If people on the top understands, like if okay, for instance, if you let's say you love broadcasting is your vibe. If you become somebody in a position or power, you understand? Let's say you're a minister or you something. What would you put in place? What you would not make sure everything that is that passion of yours happens. So that's just what it is. So everybody needs to kind of understand where the creative comes from the cameramen, you understand, the songwriters, the models, everything connects. There's a connect. It's a domino effect. So it starts from the top. The only thing the artist can do is keep, like for me, I'm a product of passion. If I had to look at my environment in St. Lucia of how it is, I would have probably given up because, you realize, okay, but it's not too much you can do. Some artists tell me, okay, if it's not, soca, it's nothing else you can, but if different opportunities or if different things was given in that area to nurture, then they wouldn't have to think, like that. So I think our mindset, first of all, needs to change where that is concerned, and that's when we'd be able to see everything else.
Because I think you mentioned one of the key words you mentioned, the invest.
Yeah.
And two things that you'll be strongly connected to. One, Richard Payne.
Yeah.
And the School of Music.
Yeah, School of Music.
And the Denry segment.
Yeah.
And these are two segments, these are two areas that we don't see much investment in.
And that's wrong. That should change. Where like the School of Music supposed to be, a lot of artists supposed to be coming from that school, of music. Richard is doing his best, up there to get what he has.
But he's struggling.
And he's struggling over there to do. Richard is one that's very close to me because he's responsible for me musically where that happened. So apart from Richard being the School of Music director, I'm a student of him in terms of my where arrangements and odd timing signatures and different types of percussions, all that kind of stuff. He and my brother Francis, which plays bass. So if people understand the importance of what it is, like I would want to make sure every school has a thriving music class, and children from there, can get a scholarship in a music, school. You get people to come down, the trade-off of different people. That's what makes it work. But you have to be able to understand how important it is first. If you don't think it's important, if you don't think it's a high priority, it may not, it may not be that way.
Before we end, we know you did some work on environmental issues some time ago. Talk to us quickly about the causes that you're involved with, because I'm sure you use your profile and so on to deal with certain causes. That
cause was the with Barbara Jacobs, the OACS, Saving Our Islands. Just us being a voice for pollution, of the waters. I'm very much open to these things. There's a couple of other things that I am looking to do that I can't talk about yet, where I am going to be heavily involved in getting things like that, come to the forefront. And it's just standing for a cause. You understand? We're in the public eye for certain things, and a lot of people want to hear our take on certain things. So I'm down for these causes, and the other things that's in the pipeline, I'll let you know about.
Yeah, because we know Tashmix has been blazing the trail in terms of doing so much.
Yes.
In fact, the cause has taken more of his time than his concerts.
Yeah, than his
So,
concerts.
yeah.
The calling is heavy. When you put yourself in that position, it's heavy too. Who much is given, much is required. So if you put yourself in that way, then you have to go with that calling and take whatever comes with that calling.
Teddy, let's not let a pandemic get between this interview and the next one.
I know. I am sorry, but you know you can get me anytime you want. If I am not here, it's because I'm probably out the island. But I will never be busy. You understand? For you to call me, you've known me from way before anything. So that ain't nothing. You have a direct contact to me. A lot of people don't have. So that's easy. We're gonna do that again.
At all.
Yeah, at all.
We appreciate it.
Yes.
And we certainly celebrate you.
Thank you. I
and your
appreciate
achievements.
that.
You do us extremely proud as Solutions.
Thank you.
And
Thank you. I try.
in the 43rd year of our anniversary,
Yes,
so we're pretty
yes,
happy that
yes.
we have you out there representing. All the
Yes,
best.
yes.
Good
Thank
luck,
you
and
so
let's talk
much.
again pretty soon.
Thank you. God bless.
Glad for the little things. Glad for the little things. I can open my fridge and have something to eat.
Some people can't do that.
I can knock off my eye and have somewhere to sleep.
Some people can't do that.